Hey guys, how you doing, and welcome back to another video. So I know it's been a long time since my last video, but I hope you guys have had a good Christmas and a good start to the new year. And so today I don't want to speak about a gospel reflection, but I just want to give some words of encouragement as we enter this new year. And so we have all heard of this term, new year, new me. When we say that, we say it with enthusiasm. We say that this coming year is going to be a new year because I am going to do something new, something better. So in other words, when we say new me, we are basically saying we're going to try and be better than who we were last year. And so this concept is something that really fits well with the spiritual life. Because as we all know, and I've said this many times in my previous reflections, that our spiritual life is like a roller coaster. We go up and down, up and down, up and down. So we have to try, although it's very difficult, to try and sustain our spiritual life. In other words, as much as we can, we have to try and make sure our relationship with God is strengthened. And so when I say, new year, new me, what I'm basically saying is, in the context of our spiritual life, is how can we this year sustain that relationship with God? How can we this year keep our relationship with God more stronger and more firm? And and to do that, part of it is reflecting. So reflecting on how the last year has went, and when we think back, are there things that we could have done differently in terms of our relationship with God? Or perhaps was there opportunities that God presented to us, but we never seized on those opportunities? And so these things are factors that we need to think about and reflect on. Reflect on how our relationship with God has been. And so now, as we come into this year now, we think about our past year, and now we try and implement fresh ideas, fresh ways to strengthen our relationship with God. So we identify a weakness that we perhaps have experienced in the last year, and we now try and address it in the new year. If I was to give an example of an area we can work on, is our dependency on God. Because as human beings, it is natural for us to want to have that feeling of control, to have that feeling of certainty. Because when we're in control of something, then do we feel that there is certainty that there will be a certain outcome. But when we don't have that control, it's so easy for anxiety and uncertainty to sneak in. And so this year, we should try and focus on dependency on God. And so when I say dependency, that means to try and let go. It's one of the most hardest things to do in our spiritual life, but we have to try, and that is to let go. Let go of the things that we are really clinging on to. And because when we cling on to things too much, we start to build an unhealthy attachment to it. And this unhealthy attachment then can come before God. It gets in the way of our relationship with God. And so in this year, my dear brothers and sisters, this is something that I want to encourage. You can see this as the new year kind of like spiritual resolution, is try and work on our dependency with God. Especially with COVID and everything, when a lot of things seem uncertain, we need even more dependency on God, because it is truly only God who can help us get out of difficult situations, or at least give us the strength to persevere in these difficult situations. To give dependency, to be dependent on God, is to give God that authority over our lives, that control over our lives. And showing, when you're dependent on something, you're trusting that thing. So when you're dependent on God, you're showing God that you trust Him. And so my dear brothers and sisters, like I said, let this be our New Year's resolution this year. Let's try and focus on our dependency on God. Let's try and let go this year and give it all to God and focus on our relationship with God. And believe me, my dear brothers and sisters, Jesus will not disappoint. You give him that space in your life, that authority in your life, then you will also start to see the fruits to come. So thank you guys for listening. Once again, I hope you all had a great Christmas with your family and friends, or whoever you have spent it with, and I hope you've had a great start to a new year. And I'll be praying for you all, and I pray that you guys have a very good year this year, especially in the spiritual context. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Have a great day. God bless.